Hi guys, it's Blackie and welcome back to the channel. Okay, recently my good friend Scab went to Blade Show, and while he was at Blade Show he sent me an image and said would I be willing to do a review of a knife that was a sort of Kukri. I looked at it and I said sure, I'll be glad to take a look at it. And so my good friend Scab, and if you don't know who Scab is, you should. If you like knives and bushcraft outdoor stuff and knives, this guy is a knife channel and very, very knowledgeable about knives. He goes more a lot of the tactical stuff and a lot of the defensive stuff, but he also does a lot with the bushcraft stuff. So I always try to promote him because he's a good friend of mine and he does a great job covering his particular genre. So when he asked me would I be willing to take a look at this for Tops Knives, I said sure. Now, Tops Knives, we all have heard this name. They're famous for their tracker knives and other designs that they make. I have not owned a Tops tracker, although I have used one a couple of times just with an experimentation that it belonged to a friend or something like that, and tried it out a little bit. They've always been good quality knives. So when he sent me this to do a review. Now what they're going for is a everyday belt knife that's based upon a Kukri. That's the idea. An EDC Kukri. That it's not necessarily just a chopping tool, but it's a do everything tool. So what this video is going to be is my first impressions. I took this out of the box, I played with it for the weekend, and now I'm going to give you my first thoughts on it. First off, it is relatively light, relatively compact, would be easy to carry on a belt. Now it's a good Kydex sheath with multiple anchor points on it. And it has the one-way snaps. These snaps are designed, it gives you a little warning in the package. They're designed to go one way to unsnap. If you try to snap the other way, they tend to try to lock. That's so it'll stay secure on your belt. And you got these good rubberisk, I don't know what this exact material is. It may actually be a leather, but it feels like a rubberized leather on it. And it's using the screw type, so you could reposition this to get a different feel. And there's different holes so you could adjust this to whatever feel, whatever belt you wanted. But on this way, it comes around and it snaps, and it is a, hold on, there we go, hold on. You got to put the snap on from back and go forward. There, that way it locks and it's not going to come loose. It's a locking snap basically. But you got the loops to carry it either that way or that way on your belt as a horizontal scout type carry. Now, good solid retention, clicks in well. It's even got in the little wings right here an embossment that hooks onto the actual screws that are holding it on the grip. So it's good solid. You ain't slinging it out. It's going to be good and secure on your belt. And a good tug, it comes right off. Okay, small and narrow, fits in the hand. You got the ring right there, which guarantees it ain't coming out of your hand that way, and you can stick your finger through that pinky, to actually lock it in your grip. It ain't coming out of your grip. You got jimping, stempling right there for your thumb to lock on for detail work. And then you got the Kukri S. And then you got a notch up here. Now, my first thoughts looking at this is bail hook. That's for hooking and pulling something out of the fire or something like that. Bail hook. I'm sure it has other applications, but for me, that's what I would think of when I saw it. It's got a good downward rake to it, where this plane right here does that and curves, so it fits your hand really well. It widens out and it thickens up this way. And then on either side of the blade, it's got this little divot so that your fingers naturally pinch right there so you can get down here for detail, precise work. Now the Kukri curve to it allows it to slice well. So by starting back here, as you pull it, see, you're always on a curve, so it'd be really good for a draw cut, as well as a classic Kukri design is designed to bite in. Now, this is just off the ground stick. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. I'm just showing you can do. my bigger kukri, this first inch right there on it is the knife edge. Now this one is smaller, but let's say this first little curve right here, it's also great for digging into round stock. And most of the stuff we're going to pick up out of the ground out here to make a tent stake out of, or to make figure fours, whatever, is going to be round. So that gives it that advantage, okay? Now you go a little further into this, and you've got this sweet spot right here up here. And that's for the draw, pulling in. Because you put there and then you bite down, see? And it's cutting in. That downward angle makes it cut in on the stroke. Tip it up and you've got this. That's the draw slice, see? So if you were to take, say, a big old slice of bacon, you know, big old hunk of bacon, and you were going to cut it, you would push in and then draw back. Push in, draw back, and it'd be a nice clean cut that way. Now for a defensive weapon, same idea. Stuff in, slice out. It would do a really good job for that. With this back, if I laid it down flat like that on the thing, I could come up here and lay it down flat and then take and like cut up vegetables, stuff like that in food prep, sitting that flat on the plate. Instead of chopping, I could do like this and make the food fall off on this side and not have to go bang, 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 and be banging my edge into a plate now, wouldn't I? Just by turning it upside down. Or rolling and slicing on it if I want to cut up who knows what. Or pulling straight across it on a flat surface like that, being able to angle it just a little bit and do this and make a pile of tinder real quick. That would be an advantage as well. It's thin stock, fits the hand well, and I think, especially for somebody with smaller hands, it would be a real nice idea. Now, I did in my year of my kukri that I have talked about many times. If you go back in my playlist and look at my kukri videos, I've talked about many times. I had a small officer's model kukri that was not much bigger than this. That was my daily carry belt knife. Because for a year, I had to use just that kukri, or a kukri, for all of my witchcraft outdoor stuff. So if a kukri could do it, and I had like 9 kukris, all the way up to a big two-hander that I used in place of an axe. If I could do it with an axe, I had to do it with a kukri. And if I had a belt size, this would be the belt size. And so for getting ready for supper, cooking supper, this size would be perfect in the kitchen. For the carry it on you like a pocket knife, this size would work very well for that. Now it doesn't have the weight for chopping. I could make a small shelter with it if I had to, but it'd be more of a push cuts than it would be true chopping. It will chop a little bit just by that design, but it doesn't have the weight and the mass that the big kukri does to really cut and dig in. But for an EDC kukri and a little tactical like design like that, yeah, this could be very viable, especially for something that you'd be carrying on your belt with quick access and very solid retention. So this is my initial thoughts on it. Now give me a couple of months. Right now I'm still, as you know, I've got up until October, I am using the Gray Man, the WC Knives Gray Man. I'm giving a year of that. So all my bushcraft outdoor activities is being done with that. I have played with this just a little bit to be able to do this video. And I will play with this just a little bit. But give me a few months, and once I'm not carrying the WC knife as my exclusive one outdoors, I may take this one on a camp out just to try out the concept of this as an EDC carry and see how that works for you. Hope you've enjoyed this, guys. If you're interested in it, go look at Tops Knives. And again, just in case you don't know, there's a tactical division of Tops Knives. One life, one knife, made in the USA. And they even on the blade, right there, they've got a made in the USA on it. So, you interested in that? Go check them out. And I'll give you more information a little later on. Hope you've enjoyed this content, guys. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe, and throw me a comment down there if you don't mind. It really helps the algorithm, and I love to hear from you. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.